Hi guys, in today's episode of Quick One with Ayo, I'll be talking about powertrain. The powertrain is made up of components responsible for producing power in the vehicle as well as to propel the wheels of the vehicle. From that definition, you can tell that the powertrain is made up of the drivetrain. But in this video, I'll be emphasizing on the powertrain. I'll make a separate video for the drivetrain. In automobiles, we have two major power sources. The first being the internal combustion engine and the second being electric motors. The internal combustion engine, also known as ICE, please remember the word ICE because I'll be using that a lot even in subsequent videos. The internal combustion engine produces power by mixing air and fuel in an enclosed or internal chamber to produce power. ICEs get their power from fuels. Fuels such as petrol, also called gasoline, diesel, ethanol, LPG, liquefied petroleum gas, as well as other biofuels, such as biodiesel and other things like that, or any other form of alternate fuel. While the electric powertrain gets its power from batteries. We have the nickel metal hydride or lithium ion batteries. It's the lithium ion batteries we have in our phones. So in the car, the batteries are located at the bottom of the car and they are in battery packs. A lot of batteries, multiple batteries gathered together to produce power or to send power to the electric motors to propel the wheels of the vehicle. We also have fuel cell cars. They fall under electric cars, but instead of batteries, we have a fuel cell that does some things with hydrogen and oxygen to produce power. More about that later. As easy as it sounds, mixing hydrogen and oxygen, which are readily available to us to produce electricity, the lithium-ion battery-powered cars seem to have more advantage than the fuel cell. Some examples of fuel cell-powered electric cars are the Toyota Mirai and the Honda Clarity. Fuel cell cars are also called hydrogen cars. So now that we know the internal combustion powered cars and electric powered cars, we also have a combination of both of them, and that is called hybrid. We must have heard that a lot: hybrid cars, hybrid cars, hybrid cars. So hybrid cars are cars that have two power sources, the internal combustion engine and the electric motor with batteries. The working system of the hybrids are classified mainly into two. We have the series and we have the parallel. In the series hybrid, the internal combustion engine's only job is to produce power to power the generator that charges the batteries. It's the electric motors that are responsible for propelling the wheels of the vehicle. But in a parallel hybrid, both the engine and the battery or the electric motors can power the wheels of the vehicle at any given time. So in a parallel hybrid, the internal combustion engine can propel the vehicle as well as only the electric motor can propel the vehicle. Although there are certain times that one has to come in to support the other, it depends on the kind of hybrid it is. There are different types of hybrids, but I will make a separate video about hybrids later on. The best example of a series hybrid that's coming to mind now is the Fisker Karma. That's like the only one I can remember at the moment. But for the parallel hybrid, a lot of other cars use parallel hybrid. The hybrid Toyota Camry, Toyota Highlander, Lexus, those hybrid cars, they're parallel hybrids. So even the Prius or Prius, depending on your region, uses parallel hybrid system. And in case you didn't know, the Prius is the first ever mass-produced hybrid vehicle. It was released by Toyota in 1997. Okay, so now that we know we have internal combustion engine cars, electric cars, and hybrid cars, they all have their advantages and disadvantages, and I won't be able to go into all that at the moment because it will be a very long video. But typically, a major limitation that the electric cars have is the range. That's the distance it can cover with a full charge, but it's getting better over time. Whereas hybrid cars, you have the petrol and you have the battery, so they tend to have a better range than even the petrol engine. The batteries in hybrid and electric cars are charged by regenerative braking. Another video on regenerative braking. When you step on your brake, slowing down the vehicle, it sends power to charge the battery. And the batteries could be charged by a plug-in system. You have a cord and you connect it to the car and connect it to your home charging system. And as we mentioned earlier on, if it's hybrid, the internal combustion engine could also charge the battery for you. Okay, the first example to come to my mind for electric cars would be the Teslas. We have the Tesla Model S, Tesla Model X, Tesla Model 3, and a host of others and more to come. We also have some hybrid setups known as split power or series parallel hybrids. These are hybrids that normally are series. Like in this system, the petrol engine normally charges the battery, to provide power to electric motors to propel the vehicle. But sometimes when the vehicle needs extra power, when the batteries are depleted, the engine plays the role of providing power to help propel the vehicle. A very good example is the Chevrolet Volt. So one of the main advantages of electricity over internal combustion engines is that electricity produces a lot of torque from the beginning. But in the internal combustion engines, you need to reach certain power bands to produce the maximum torque. But with the electric motors, you can produce maximum torque from almost any band. So this is why electric cars tend to accelerate way faster than internal combustion engines. Let me digress a little bit. We have cars called hypercars. These are cars that are hybrid cars, but they're high performance hybrid cars. So 3 examples of such hypercars are the Ferrari LaFerrari, the Porsche 918 Spider, and the McLaren P1. These cars have internal combustion engines as well as electric motors. The McLaren P1 and the Porsche 918 Spider can actually both be driven with only electricity, while the Ferrari LaFerrari doesn't have a battery-only option. For more videos like this, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Ayo Loves Cars, and follow me on all social media platforms. Ayo Loves Cars on Twitter, Ayo Loves Cars on Instagram, Ayo Loves Cars everywhere. See you in the next video.